for us for a very long time. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. With that said, we can begin our Board of Trustees meeting for the October 8th, 2020 session. As usual, we can begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. So we begin our meeting with public comment, and we have not received any written public comment, but we can invite anybody who is participating tonight to make public comments. If you have public comment, please raise your hand. Okay, we do not see any hand raises, so thank you again. We do not have any board presentations or public hearings tonight. We do have some important announcements to make regarding the employees of the month. So first, prior to getting to that, I want to welcome Charlene Cagle-Betts, our new village administrator, clerk, and treasurer. She is on tonight, so welcome, Charlene. So our employees of the month are twofold today. So we wanted to recognize two employees of the month because it would be remiss to not mention one of the two. But before getting to that, I also wanted to extend a really deep thank you and a profound thank you to three members of our Village Hall staff, Vicki, Danielle, and Kathy. Kathy is our deputy clerk, and she has been the face of the village when you walk in to get your beach pass or to get anything you might need here. Danielle is our tax receiver, and she has been fantastic. And Vicki has really been a strong presence for us, especially with HR and civil service needs. So we'd obviously love to make everyone employee of the month. We had to settle for two today. So we wanted to announce the two employees of the month. Pat Letterman, who is our deputy treasurer, and Mylene Michelle Gare, or Mimi, who is our tax cashier, as well as our registrar. Pat has been with us for 12 years. Mimi has been with us for a decade and a half, so both have served us for a very long time and very well. First, wanted to recognize Pat, who has done an excellent job over the last month, but in particular, the last several weeks, helping transition Charlene and welcoming her. She has done everything from payroll to warrants, disbursements, and general operations here. And we owe her a debt of gratitude because without Pat's help, we would be in a much tougher situation. So she has been really the rock of Village Hall. And I know it's not every day we get a chance to thank her, but I think it was important. We all think as a board, it was important to recognize Pat for her help and everything she's done. And in addition, Mimi has been a steadfast and hard worker here at Village Hall. We had a very intense summer of beach passes where, again, they went without a hitch. She has also been instrumental in our transition here, helping us with our agenda and resolutions and helping with the everyday needs of residents. So we wanted to recognize both Pat and Mimi. So thank you very much to both of you, and thank you to everyone at our first floor of Village Hall. So we can now move to the communications to the board section of our agenda, and I will let Brian read a brief letter from myself and the Board of Trustees to one of our officers.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, members of the Board of Trustees, and welcome to Administrator Cagle-Betts. We look forward to working with you, and best of luck in your new position. This is a letter that we sent to Chief Cummings on behalf of the Mayor and the Board of Trustees to thank and congratulate Officer James Moore. On behalf of the Mayor and Board of Trustees, please add our commendation for the fine work done by Officer James Moore and Canine Officer Topper for their apprehension of the burglary suspect on September 23rd. Congratulations to the officer and his canine's diligence, professionalism, and training in the apprehension of this suspect. And if you'd seen it, it was in the Southampton Press where it was mentioned that they were instrumental in that apprehension. So we have a dedicated police force and staff, and I just wanted, on behalf of the Mayor and the Board of Trustees, to put that in his record. It was acknowledged by Chief Cummings, and he thanked the board for its attention to that. So congratulations, Officer Moore, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, Officer Moore, and thank you, Brian, for the communication. We now move forward to suggested resolutions. The first resolution tonight is resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes the village administrator to publish and post a public hearing October 20, 2020 at 6 p.m. prevailing time for a local law to amend Section 110-43, Schedule L, stopping, standing, and parking restrictions of Chapter 110 of the Village Code to regulate parking at the Railroad Plaza. I make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Quick discussion, Brian, if you could just let us know exactly what this is about, that'd be very helpful for us and those listening tonight.
Sure, Mayor. This is the second time this has come up for publication. It had not gotten published last time. We requested a public hearing. It's a request from both Trustee Parrish and Superintendent Gillespie, who required certain observations on parking near the railroad station that would streamline it and make it much safer and better for public safety.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolution 2, resolve that the claims for the warrant dated October 8th, 2020, totaling $217,212.09, warrant number 10 general fund, and $24,211.00, warrant number 5 capital fund, be audited and approved. And make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mayor, may I ask for a last minute addition to this resolution?
Please, I can make that motion as well.
Yes, to amend. I have one voucher that was left on my desk, a claim voucher left on my desk by Pat today. And she apologized for the late addition, but she felt that we should add the payment on to this warrant. It is for Cast Productions, which is the services provided by Charlie and Kat Styler for our production for the month of September. It was received, the invoice was dated September 30th, and it was received timely. It just inadvertently did not get added, and it's the amount of $3,800.
Brian, do we need to make a full resolution adding that?
So you have a motion.
I made the motion. It wasn't a second, so someone should probably make a second.
I'll second that.
I think Trustee Palauer did second it. So why don't we withdraw that motion? Why don't you make a new motion to you have a motion and a second. Why don't you ask for a vote to withdraw that motion?
Okay. Vote to withdraw that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And then we'll go with a new motion and then a second with the new motion of the warrant of that amount plus the additional request of $3,800.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Well, do we have a new figure?
Yes, $221.09.
$221,012.09. Correct.
Okay, there was a motion and a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Third resolution tonight, resolve the mayor appoints the following members to the Budget and Finance Committee for a term ending June 30th, 2021. I make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
And the following members are Len Zanotti, Dane Neller, William Wright, and Rosemary Dios. And the mission statement of the Budget and Finance Committee dated October 8th, 2020, as set forth more fully below and hereby adopted.
Discussion.
Trustee Palauer.
I believe that Trustee Parrish, unfortunately, due to a family emergency, is unable to be here tonight. I know he sent us an email asking for tabling of this because he has some questions and would like them addressed. I think that would be a good idea because I also have some questions that I think we need legal to review. And so I would love to table this for, until a legal review.
Andrew, I appreciate the request, and we also feel bad that Trustee Parish was unable to attend tonight's meeting. But I do believe that obviously prior to adding this to the agenda tonight, our village attorney has reviewed our agenda. So we believe that legal has reviewed this, and there is no legal issues.
No, this is not the agenda. This is not the agenda. I'm not looking to get a legal review of our agenda, which we should discuss a little bit, because 5 minutes prior to us, or an hour and 5 minutes prior to us going on, the agenda changed for the public, adding a couple of things and removing a couple of things. So we can discuss that at a later stage. But I am talking about a legal review of the mission statement for the Southampton Village Budget and Finance Committee really should be done. A legal review of that should be done. And so that is what I am requesting, that we table so we can get a legal review on the mission statement for this committee.
Is there any specific questions that you have regarding the mission
I
statement?
have, Mr. Mayor, I have many questions, and that's why, rather than, again, in trying to be efficient, I think that we should table it and discuss this. If not, we can certainly go through point by point. But I think from an ease standpoint, also without a trustee here, and we also wanted to put forth a resolution on another thing, and it was done because one of our trustees didn't feel that they had enough knowledge on it. And so I don't feel that I have enough knowledge in being able to vote on this, because there are lots of legal questions. And so I would like to table it for legal review if possible. If not, I will be happy to start addressing the points. Let me know. I'm just trying to be efficient.
Well, we appreciate that, and we appreciate your thoughtfulness here. I know our Budget and Finance Committee did work quite hard, and we'd love to move this forward so that our committee could get to work. We're happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Wonderful. I mean, our Budget and Finance Committee has been working, have they not? I mean, I've attended the majority of the meetings. I know Trustee Aresta is now on as the trustee that will serve along with you, has attended meetings as a participant, and now as the village the person responsible for the village. So it has been doing work, correct?
Correct.
Okay, great. So my question, Mr. Egan, we state that this committee is not a policymaker, yet in discussions with you, I believe that if the committee makes a recommendation to the board and we do not as a board follow it, they could put forth an Article 78 against the Board of Trustees. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know if they necessarily have the standing to bring in Article 78, but what the concern on all committees, and I think that just has to be clarified a bit, is that you don't want them taking contrary positions than the board or the mayor. And if a committee decides, there should be for instance, a tax increase, and the Board of Trustees feels that there should not be, that's a problem. So those kind of advisory committees are helpful, but not necessarily committees that could cross into a policy-making position. Alternatively, you could have a Board of Trustees that feels that there should be a tax cut, and a committee that feels that there should be a tax increase. So you don't want to be at that kind of crosshairs with a committee. I think that a mission statement is a good idea. I think that a mission statement would frame the committee's operations and works and expectations. So I think adoption of a mission statement is important.
I agree. I just want to make sure that the mission statement put forth isn't going to handcuff the Board of Trustees as elected officials for representing the village of Southampton. And that to me is what I see, that in some parts here that it could be. I mean, Mr. Mayor, you also asked me to work on the committees and all of this. And one of the things we spoke about prior to getting rid of some at last meeting and again, wanting to look at them and further, one of the things I mentioned to you was changing the committees from a standing committee to a task force, which could look at things that would be tasked by this board to do. And then when it is done, they kind of move on until they are needed again. Whereas this would be a standing committee that again could be at loggerheads with the board in general. And I just want to make sure, because the fiduciary responsibility for the village of Southampton and its residents falls with the 5 people here. It does not fall with a committee. And yet it looks like some of the work that is being proposed by them to be done is work that is for elected officials. And so I just want to make sure that what we are doing and that the process for following what the mission statement is proper, because I don't want to get into a situation where we agree on a mission statement that then puts us at loggerheads with the committee and from a legal standpoint holds us in not doing our fiduciary responsibility for the village. It states point number 6, at least 4 members of the committee shall be residents of the village. Yet in our code book, to sit on a committee, you have to be a resident of the village. So again, this is in direct contrast with what we have on our code and what was done in 2018, in May 10th of 2018, that while Mayor, and this is from the minutes of 2018, while Mayor Irving noted that it was proposed local law would only affect board officers and administrative employee positions and not the advisory boards, which would remain only open to village residents. So again, there is a direct conflict between the mission statement that we are looking to ratify today and what was proposed and in our code book from 2018. It's one of the reasons I'd like us to have a legal review of this so that we can understand and we're not jumping the gun and putting ourselves in harm's way. Brian, just so you know, that is on our village code. It
313.
is section
313.
Thank you. Yes.
Trustee Pilar, we appreciate those thoughts, and obviously this was well thought out. And in regards to that village code, I think I was actually attending that meeting. I remember the meeting when Mayor Irving had wanted members of our boards, but this is specifically a committee, and so it's possible that that's obviously what you may be referring to. But we have, as they say, it takes a village, and we obviously want to engage some of the best of our village residents to help advise us and the Board of Trustees, and that's exactly why we had established a mission statement and created this Budget and Finance Committee, particularly in a time when we need to make sure that we are keeping our tax levy as flat as possible. We hope not to increase taxes any further than we have, and really to engage really smart people like Len, who is the chairperson, who is the former chief financial officer of the New York Philharmonic, who also served in a financial capacity for CUNY in New York, and also consults for Suffolk County. That's exactly who we want on this committee, and that's exactly who came up with our mission statement. And so, I think what's best to do is, of course, we're not always going to agree on everything, But of course, this is a board decision, and we want our entire board in its entirety, or those who are here tonight, to be able to vote on this and basically get this through, so that our Budget and Finance Committee could have a clear-cut mission statement and get to work. But we really do appreciate your thoughts. They're excellent points, and we appreciate you doing your diligence on this.
Okay, and then another point for discussion is the committee shall consist of 5 voting members, yet we're only appointing 4 tonight. Sean Hattrick is not being reappointed, I gather. Have you discussed with him, Mr. Mayor, his non-reappointment? I know that there was a discussion, but did you actually let him know that he was not being reappointed, or was it just left out for him to assume when it comes to this vote?
Sean and I had a very good conversation the other night, and we had hoped that he would help us on some other committees, in particular the Business Revitalization Committee, and we did have a conversation. But I do appreciate you asking that.
And yet he specifically stated to you that rather than the other committee, he would want to be on this one. Is that correct?
That I believe so, Andrew. Are there any other board members who'd like to comment?
I still have discussion and I have the floor, as I recall. So the committee members will be bound by an oath of confidentiality. So does that mean then that they are not allowed to speak and provide guidance to the public on what their findings are?
Andrew, would you mind just clarifying that question?
Sure. It states number 11 is that all committee members will be bound by an oath of confidentiality. So if I recall, one of the questions to one of the members was, would he be willing to speak to the public about the findings from this committee? Yet, if they are bound by an oath of confidentiality, is that not breaking one of the mission statement points? So are we asking them to speak to the public or not speak to the public? Or are they supposed to come directly to the board who is tasking them with this? So again, this is why I know you want to get to a vote and we want to get them to work. They have been working, and I think it's wonderful that they have been working, and I applaud the work, and I again want to get them to work with a mission statement and all, but I want to make sure that the mission statement that we put forward by this board to task them with their duties is proper, and all of this. And then lastly, because we don't know about the confidentiality, and I would hope that it wouldn't be them speaking to the public, but rather them speaking to the board, and we would take the steps to necessarily inform the public. And lastly, the one is that no members of the public shall be permitted to attend a committee meeting without the express written consent of the majority of the committee members. Mr. Egan, is that proper for open meeting laws? And are we allowed to not allow public into meetings?
No. Number 12 is, if the board moves forward with the mission statement, number 12 is going to have to be struck.
Okay, so once again, here now, this is why I am asking for legal review, so we can look and see, because we now know that number 12 has got to come out of the mission statement. And so again, I want to try and be efficient. I want to try and understand. I want to get them to work, and I appreciate their work and their dedication and hard work of all residents of this. But I also have a fiduciary responsibility to this village, as do all of us, by our oath that we swore. And I want to make sure that we're doing it, because as of right now, I cannot vote for what is in front of me.
Well, Trustee Blau, thank you very much for that, and that is understandable, and we really appreciate your point of view. To that, we can strike the 12th bullet point from this mission statement. We appreciate you pointing that out, and thank you for your comments.
One last thing, I just want to make sure also that today in the boardroom, the auditors were there, and I did speak to them, and they believe this is a very inefficient government use of its resources. Just that is the last point that I will make.
All right, well, thank you again, Trustee Polaro. Are there any other comments from the board? Okay, seeing that there's no additional comments from the board, we'd like to take this to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All not in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So we have 3-1 and obviously one abstention per the other resolutions. The next resolution this evening is Resolution 4. Resolve that the Internet and email policy dated October 8th, 2020 is hereby adopted and effective immediately. I make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Brian, perhaps you can just give us a little bit of background on this.
He's muted.
Brian, you're muted.
Sorry about that. So this was an internet and email policy that was proposed by Alexandra on our research on most villages have these policies. They're adopted fairly regularly to control situations with regard to internet access, usage, emails, to prevent hacking, to preserve confidentiality, and also just from sound human resources policies. So this sets out the village's internet and email policy, and I urge its adoption.
Thank you very much.
Further
All in favor?
Further discussion, please.
Trustee Polaro, thank you.
I mean, I think it's wonderful that we have this, but again, this was put on the agenda. I received it at 5:08 this evening. Unfortunately, I haven't really had time to sit down and understand. And I know that we need this, but again, I haven't had time. And it's one of the things I thought that we had discussed is that the 48-hour time limit for the agenda of putting things on. I'm fine with taking things off. We took off the ethics board review of the employee handbook. We took off the adoption of the minutes. I'm fine with removing, but again, adding things, and especially if we add them within a 24-hour, aren't we supposed to then resolution those additions by 3 members of the board? And again, I mean, I think it's great, but I just have not had the time to sit down and understand exactly what we are looking at. Because I mean, I would want to make sure, you know, if with this, our email accounts of all of us, I mean, are non-village employees allowed access to any of our email accounts, or you know, what do we have with it and all of this? So I mean, again, just it's wonderful. I appreciate the work that Alexandra did. I just wish it had been brought to our attention. And again, transparency, communication, you know, a little before 1 hour to this meeting.
Brian, do you have any other thoughts on this?
It's a pretty standard policy. I respect Trustee Polaro's perspective. You know, it's a pretty standard policy, though. And again, we've survived thus far without it. I don't necessarily see an objection to. It's not time sensitive. The world's not going to stop if we don't have this policy in 2 weeks. So, Mayor, I don't have any legal basis for an objection to an adjournment. I do also, if I could just add one more second, I do think that we should move towards a agenda policy. We've talked about it in the last administration. We should continue that discussion now. And when we get that finalized, we should talk about an agenda add-on policy on timing and walk-ons and authorizations for those kind of things.
You know, I think that's very helpful, Brian. You know, for this agenda, we obviously, as you know, we push to get this done, 24 hours in advance, you know, as per the NICOM agenda policy. But, you know, if Trustee Polaro would like 48 hours instead of 24 hours, you know, for some more time, you know, we'd be more than happy to give him, you know, more time, you know, to review. I think that'd be everyone's pleasure to do that. So, perhaps for our next meeting or even at our work session that Trustee McLaughlin help us get going, we could obviously either discuss or adopt that policy. I'd be fully supportive of having a policy along those lines. So, if Trustee Polaro, needs a little more time to read this, we'd love to give him that time, and he can ask you and Alexandra, any questions, he might have, in this, internet and email policy. So I can make a motion to table this, and then, Trustee Polaro, feel free to obviously reach out to our village attorneys if you have the questions on this. So is there a second to table this?
I'll second that. And just so you know, I think it was the decision of the board and speaking with Mr. Egan on the agenda policy that it was going to be a 48-hour policy. This is not coming out of thin air. So, I'm happy. Thank you for that. And I appreciate it, because while it's a standard one, I hope it's the best usage of it, and that it covers vendors, it covers, all the constituents that it needs to cover. So yes, thank you.
All right, it's our pleasure. So all in favor of withdrawing this resolution?
Aye.
Aye.
Object.
All right, thank you. So our next resolution is resolution number 5, which is resolve the resolution approved on August 25th, 2020 regarding the effective start date, which reads as follows. Mayor Warren makes a motion, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hired Alfred Callahan to the title of Public Safety Dispatcher 1, Suffolk County Civil Service eligible list, number 20EL297, in the Police Department at a starting salary of $49,194.95, effective September 4th, subject to the approval of Suffolk County Civil Service, shall be amended to read effective date as September 5th, 2020. Again, I make that motion.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Okay, there's no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolution 6, similar. Resolve that the resolution approved on September 4th, 2020 regarding the effective start date, which reads as follows. Mayor Warren makes a motion, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hires Christian J. Babinski to the title of Public Safety Dispatcher 1, Suffolk County Civil Service eligible list, number 20EL297, in the Police Department at a starting salary of $49,194.95, effective September 4th, 2020, subject to the approval of Suffolk County Civil Service, shall be amended to read effective date of October 2nd, 2020. I make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolution 7, resolve the resolution approved on September 4th, 2020 regarding the effective start date, which reads as follows. Mayor Warren makes a motion, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hire George R. Karentz to the title of Public Safety Dispatcher 1, Suffolk County Civil Service eligible list, number 20EL297, in the Police Department at a starting salary of $49,194.95, effective September 4th, 2020, subject to the approval of Suffolk County Civil Service, shall be amended to read effective date as of September 26th, 2020. I make that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 We need a second. I will second.
Okay. Thank you. We thought we thought you had done that. Thank you, Trustee Polaro. There's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Resolve, number 8, resolution. Resolve that the resolution approved on September 10th, 2020 regarding the pay rate of Devin Holzman as school crossing guard. Mayor Warren makes a motion, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hires Devin Holzman as a school crossing guard at a rate of $16 per hour, effective September 11th, 2020, shall be amended to read pay rate for school crossing guard at a per diem rate of $60 per day. I make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolution number 9, resolved the resolution approved on October 1st, 2020 regarding the following. Mayor Warren makes a motion, be it resolved that the treasurer shall deposit all monies received by virtue of his/her office as follows. A, deposits into the general fund, trust fund, and capital reserve fund shall be made with B&B Bank, shall be amended to read deposits into the general fund and trust fund shall be made with People's United Bank, and deposits into Capital Reserve Fund shall be made with Bridgehampton National Bank. I make that motion. Is there a second?
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much to our team here to make sure that our resolutions are really tight and in order. So we really appreciate the help. Next is Resolution 10. I make a motion, be it resolved, that the Board of Trustees reappoint Mylene Michelle Guerra, Registrar, to a term ending June 30th, 2021. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
aye,
Resolution number 11. I make a motion, be it resolved, that the Board of Trustees reappoints Patricia Letterman, Deputy Treasurer, to a term ending June 30th, 2021. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
aye,
Aye. Resolution number 12. I'd like to make a motion, be it resolved, the Board of Trustees reappoints Kathy M. Sweeney, Deputy Clerk, to a term ending June 30th, 2021.
Second.
All in favor?
aye,
Aye. Resolution 13. Resolve that resolution number 17 passed at the June 11th, 2020 by the Board of Trustees is hereby amended to extend outdoor dining permit licenses under Chapter A-122 until November 1st, 2020, with all other terms and conditions to remain in full effect. I make that motion.
Excuse me, Mayor, that motion is actually going to be November 30th as opposed to November 1st.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Egan.
Thank you, Brian. I withdraw that. And again, make a motion resolved that resolution number 17 at the July 11 meeting by the Board of Trustees is hereby amended to extend outdoor dining permit license under Chapter A-122 until November 30th, 2020, with all other terms and conditions to remain in full effect. Is there a second?
aye,
Aye.
Quick discussion. Thank you very much for the help there. We're very happy to have extended the outdoor dining, and we hear that our restaurants are doing quite well. So thank you to everybody for your help on this one. Any case, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolution number 14, resolve that Southampton the Street shall be held on Saturday, October 10th, 2020. Streets be closed from 6:30 to 10:30 p.m. I make that motion. Is there a second?
second,
Discussion.
Trustee Plera?
I just am curious. I mean, today is Thursday, the 8th. We want to close them in 2 days. How much time have we given the businesses so that they can properly staff up or do what they need to do? I'm not so sure that in my mind, it would be such a good idea to try and force this weekend. I think that there are other opportunities where we can be a little bit more forward thinking, that we can make sure we have things in place and that the village has things in place for people. I mean, I know that a lot of the businesses on Job's Lane, weren't really for it, especially closing at 6:30. So in the past, we had switched that to 7 o'clock. They like to have the people in front of them. So, again, I don't want to rush it. And I think it's hard. We've already given our restaurants, the benefit of the parking and using their spaces in there. So again, I just want to make sure that if we are going to do this, that we are able to get the word out to all of our businesses, to all of the residents, to the staffing, which will have to be in place for it and all of it. So just checking.
All right, those are good points. I don't know if we can turn this over to any other members of our board. I actually prefer 7 o'clock, and also Sunday would be more ideal given the long weekend, but it's supposed to be rainy on Sunday. But that being said, our restaurants do have more outdoor seating. We just wanted to help them, capture the last kind of temperate weekend out there. But, we're happy to table this as well. So if you don't think this is appropriate,
I mean,
we're fine with that.
Has this been discussed with the Business Revitalization Committee or anyone outside of us, or was this kind of just thrown on willy-nilly.
I believe Trustee Parrish sent an email out requesting it, and he was the one who suggested it. But again, it's no problem if we don't have to do it.
Okay. I think there are, I mean, I know that, the Christmas committee, we are going to be unable to host our parade of lights this year. We're going to be unable to do the tree lighting and all of this. And there might be, again, that's not until the end of November. So if we could try and put something together and start discussions now, that gives the village a much greater, lead time in trying to pull something together on a weekend rather than, a day's notice, because our residents and our businesses won't hear until tomorrow morning. So that's a grave concern of mine.
All right, we appreciate the grave concern. So let's table this. I'm going to withdraw that resolution. Thank you for the concern again, Trustee Polaro. We can move forward with the mayor's board appointments. The first section is the zoning board of appeals. So I'd like to announce the following appointments: the zoning board of appeals. Make a motion to have Mark Greenwald be appointed to the vacancy left by Robert Davini to a term ending June 30th, 2022. And then following motion for Mark Greenwald to be appointed as the chairman of the zoning board of appeals for a term ending June 30th, 2021. And then a continuation of that motion for Susan Stevenson to be appointed to a term ending June 30th, 2025. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Was Susan, was anyone else removed from, or was there an opening? Because Susan is being appointed, but Mark is being added for the vacant seat. So was Susan being added to another vacant seat, or was Susan replacing somebody who has come off of the board?
The answer to this question is that we had a resignation, and Robert Davini, who did an excellent job, had resigned from the board, and then Mark Greenwald, who we're making chair, is currently on the board. But we do have a list, which I believe you have received, a list of all of the board appointments, so you can see when the terms expire. So that will help you obviously in the future as well. But that is the answer. So Susan is a.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So, but
Okay.
Mark is being appointed to the vacancy left by Robert. But you
That's correct.
But you just stated also that was he on the board before or not?
Mark Greenwald is on our zoning board of appeals and has been on our ZBA for quite some time.
Okay, but so he's being appointed to the term that Robert gave up. I'm just, because if he was already on the ZBA, why is he just being appointed to the term that Robert served? Again, I'm just trying to get clarification.
Okay, so to clarify, and again, this is, the classic appointment where there is a term that ended, and Susan Stevenson is being appointed to the term that ended and has since then expired. And then there is also a vacancy because Robert Davini, again, did a great job. He has resigned. And so therefore, for the purpose of appointment, there's two vacancies.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
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 The next series of appointments is related to the planning board. I'd like to announce the appointments to the planning board as follows and make the motion for appointment. Lisa Cowell to be appointed for a term ending June 30th, 2025. Alan McFarland to be reappointed for a term ending June 30th, 2025. And then the additional appointment and motion for Roy Stevenson to serve as chairman for a term ending June 30th, 2021. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Mayor, you had asked me specifically at the organizational meeting to sit in on the interviews with you. I said I'm available and all of this. I received Lisa Cowell's resume yesterday. So I have yet to meet with her. I'm glad that she's willing and wanting. I just, I understand, hopefully you've met with her. I'm hoping that the other two trustees, Trustee McLaughlin and Trustee Aresta, has met with her. Because again, that would be very important in my mind to at least meet the person that we are appointing.
We haven't, as in the words of Rich Jastrzemski, it's not traditional for members of the Board of Trustees when it comes to these series of appointments. That was kind of something that Trustee Jastrzemski had suggested. But that being said, the resumes are pretty good. And, obviously Alan is a reappointment, so I believe you know him, and Roy's done a nice job as chair.
Again,
So
Mr. Mayor, this only relates to Lisa Cowell, who hasn't sat on a board before for us, who, last week you asked and you stated to me that you were happy to have me sit in on interviews with you. So I just want to make sure that took place. Listen, I'm for her. I appreciate her serving. And it's the same thing with Mark McIntyre for the next. Again, just his CV was there and it's great and whatever, but I just want to make sure that again that we have met and moving forward, and that the process that is put in place, especially with you asking me to participate in the process, is being taken care of. That's all.
Andrew, we and Trustee Plower, we'd really like to accommodate you in any way and do the things that you would like us to do. The reason why we've got these appointments on today is that our organizational meeting on October 1st, after we've been through a long process, a long election and COVID, we were hoping to have as much time as possible. But I know that you had suggested that you really wanted to get these appointments done at this meeting. So we really worked hard to make sure we got a good slate of candidates, picked out the best resumes. As per usual, as we've done customarily, I've met and interviewed the candidates. So, we had hoped that this would please you to have these appointments done on the 8th. But I believe the other.
Again, I don't have a problem with the reappointments. Mine is more to do just with Lisa. I mean, has Joe and Gina met the candidate? Have Trustee McLaughlin and Trustee Aresta met with the candidate?
We can ask them, but again, this was again, the deputy mayor at the time, Trustee Jastrzemski's guidance was that this is traditionally a mayoral appointment, and resumes were generally sufficient, at least historically. And we've done other appointments, but again, I'm happy to have, Trustee McLaughlin or give their opinion of the candidate.
Okay, then can I ask why last week at the organizational meeting you said that I could sit in on interviews if this is a mayoral appointment and the resumes are okay? You made that statement last week to me, Mr. Mayor. So again, as I said, I'm not objecting to any of the individual who is being put forth here. I would like to note my abstention for Lisa Cowell because I have not met her. I am fine with the other appointments going forward. So that is, again, we can do that. Mr. McLaughlin, Trustee McLaughlin, you are on mute. If you guys, and Mr. Aresta, you guys are on mute. If there's discussion going on.
There's no discussion going on, but I do believe that when you're finished, I know Trustee McLaughlin would like to speak, but we'll yield him the floor when you are finished.
I'm fine.
Thank you. We again appreciate it. Trustee McLaughlin, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. I have yet to meet her, but I look forward to, I received a CV like you did, Trustee Plow. So I do want to meet her at some point. But I do trust the mayor's call on this. I think we should follow historical protocol, and but I do want to meet her at some point to discuss my views on the codes and what she and to see what her feedback is on her appointment.
Thank you, Trustee McLaughlin. If there's no additional discussion, we can move forward with a vote. All in favor? Aye.
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 Believe, Andrew, you'd like to abstain?
Please.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Polaro. The next series of appointments is the Board of Architectural Review and Historic Preservation. I'd like to announce the appointments for the Board of Architectural Review and Historic Preservation as follows. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Mark McIntyre for a term ending June 30th, 2020. And as a follow-up, make a motion to appoint Jeff Broadleaf to serve as chairman for a term ending June 30th, 2020. Is there a second?
Excuse me. I'm sorry. You meant 2022 and 2021.
That's right. So Mark McIntyre for a term ending June 30th, 2022, and Jeff Broadleaf to serve as chairman for a term ending June 30th, 2021.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Good catch. Is there a second?
Second.
Trustee Polaro, do you have any discussion points?
I'll make the same discussion points and I will abstain.
Okay. Your abstention is noted. All in favor?
Aye.
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 So the next portion of our meeting are comments from board members. And first is Trustee McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mayor. And I just want to take the time to welcome the new board members to the village, and I wish them luck. And again, to follow up the mayor's comments on the beginning of the meeting, thank you to the village hall staff to manage this transition with the new administration. And I look forward to working with everyone. And welcome to Charlene. And look forward to going forward. So thank you.
Thank you, Trustee McLaughlin. Next is Trustee Aresta.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would also like to welcome Charlene. I look forward to working with you in Village Hall and to all the other new employees of the village. I spent quite a bit of day today in the Department of Public Works, and happy to report we only lost 2 trees last night from the storm, and everything was taken care of in a timely manner today, and most efficiently, I must say, by the Department of Public Works. So the village is all cleaned up, so it was a good day. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Aresta. Trustee Polaro, you're next.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too want to welcome the village administrator. I look forward to working with her. I've already had a couple of discussions and seeing her in Village Hall. It was very nice, so I am excited for that. I also want to let you know that a meeting was had today down at Cooper's Beach for the cell tower that is going to be in the pergola of the building. So that should be moving forward. So looking forward to having that online so that we can have some safety. I just wanted to make 2 comments tonight with regards to what we voted on for the mission statement. The public is just that, and they are our constituents, and we do work for them. But when the public needs to request information from a municipal government, they need to FOIL it. The elected officials do not need to FOIL because we are elected by them to work for them, to look out for them. And I really do have slight concern with regards to what the potential mission statement can be with regards to the budget process and how we go. So it is the board's responsibility, and I hope that the decisions will remain with the board and not put forward to a committee that self-governs themselves to a certain extent. One of the other things, just with regards to tonight's ZBA chairman being put forward. Again, one of the things that, we do have a lot of people in real estate out in the village, and a lot of people working. And I know that in the past we have had problems with recusals, and we now have a chairman who is in real estate. So again, just one of the things to be aware of and where we are going. So those are the end of my comments. Thank you. And I wish Trustee Parrish a quick and speedy recovery back, and that not too much issue with regard to his family emergency. I also do look forward to working with the ambulance department going forward very much for my appointment. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Polaro. So I just wanted to mention a few things. Firstly, we did hear an announcement from Governor Cuomo about 20 zip codes or 20 hotspots, COVID-19 hotspots throughout New York State, particularly in Brooklyn, Queens, and Rockland County. And those hotspots are a reminder to us that despite the fact that we have successfully flattened the curve the first time, there could be a second wave. There will be potentially a second curve we may need to flatten. And so I think I really wanted to compliment and thank our village residents for really being diligent and doing a great job as far as following social distancing and mask wearing protocols, making sure that if testing was needed, they got out and got tested and really looked out for their friends and family and community members. But people do travel back and forth throughout New York State and across Long Island and across the tri-state area. And so we must remain diligent. It was a tough run the first several months this past spring, and we hope that our residents and our team here can continue to do all the right protocols. Fortunately, there are treatments that are unfolding, and as we learn more about the virus, but those hotspots do exist. And another piece of good news is that Southampton Hospital very shortly will be receiving a rapid testing machine. I do plan on reaching out to Robert Ross at Southampton Hospital to provide additional updates. But so far, the village is in good shape, and it's in good shape thanks to you and thanks to our residents. In addition, I joined a group of community members who live on Elm Street to discuss Halloween, as well as members such as Amy Kerwin and from the Art Center and Connor Flanagan from the History Museum. First, the Art Center will be having a movie showing, and recommend going to their website to check out when the outdoor movies will be taking place. In addition, they'll be showing some movies this weekend outdoors for the Hamptons Film Festival. So also encourage everybody to check in on the website. Of course, there'll be limitations to avoiding mass gatherings, but please do check that out. And then the Southampton History Museum will be doing some ghost hunting. I've heard rumors that Rogers Memorial Mansion is haunted. In fact, one person did see a ghost there, and so there is ghost hunting at the History Museum, as well as other events. So check in with Connor, as well as with the Southampton History Museum website. But after speaking to some members on Elm Street and other members of the community, and also talking to the mayor of Sag Harbor and hearing about a memo from the East Hampton Village Chief of Police, it's come to our attention, of course, along with CDC guidance and protocols, that trick-or-treating is considered a moderate to high-risk activity. And so some members of the community feel more comfortable not closing down Elm Street as we've done in years past, simply for safety precautions. And the key takeaway from meeting with residents is that we would encourage everybody who wants to participate in trick-or-treating to do it close to home, do it safely, wear your mask, versus coming to Elm Street, where there may be some limited trick-or-treating, but not as usual, which is disappointing, but we'll recover from it next year for the best Halloween we can do. So please do stay close to home and trick or treat if you must there. And there's also some other activities. Also attended a youth committee Zoom call. We've got a great team there, Kathy and Megan Bishop and Andrea Dozier. And they also have some activities planned, and they're working on them. So we look forward to hearing to what they're working on. And then lastly, we reached out to Frank Fish, who has a great deal of experience in planning, and we hope to invite him for a brief presentation just to introduce himself at our next board meeting and our next work session. So we're looking forward to hearing from Frank Fish as well. So with that being said, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn to executive session for the purpose of discussing contractual litigation and specific village personnel matters. Sarah, second.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Now we were in public session at 8:05 p.m. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.